Forget the simple monster story you were told as a child. We're about to pull back the curtain on one of history's most terrifying myths to reveal a shocking truth. The Minotaur's labyrinth isn't just about a creature. It's a meticulously crafted prison with motives so twisted, they'll make you question who the real monster truly was. You'll never look at this myth the same way again. Hey myth lovers and history detectives, welcome to the Nightforge. Today we're descending into the twisting corridors of the Palace of Nasus on the island of Crete, into the very heart of the legendary labyrinth. This isn't just a tale of a bull-headed man in a maze. It's a story of power, betrayal, divine punishment, and the civilization's dark secret. So grab your torch or, your phone, and let's get lost in the legend of the Minotaur. To understand the labyrinth, we must first understand its creators. We begin with King Minos of Crete, a man of immense power, said to be the son of Zeus himself. To prove his divine right to rule, Minos prayed to the sea god Poseidon to send him a magnificent white bull from the sea, which he promised to sacrifice in the god's honor. Poseidon obliged, and a stunning creature emerged from the waves. But Minos, captivated by the bull's beauty, decided to keep it and sacrifice a lesser one instead. Big mistake, you don't double-cross an Olympian god. Poseidon's revenge was as poetic as it was cruel. He cursed Minos' wife, Queen Pasiphae, with an unnatural desire for the white bull. Consumed by this divine madness, Pasiphae sought the help of Daedalus, the master craftsman and inventor of the Athenian court. Daedalus, a genius without a moral compass, constructed a hollow wooden cow so lifelike that the white bull was deceived. Pasiphae hid inside, and from this cursed union, a monstrous offspring was born, the Minotaur, a creature with the body of a man and the head of a bull. Its name, Asterion, was soon forgotten, replaced by the title that defined its existence, Minotaur, meaning bull of Minos. King Minos was horrified and ashamed. This creature was living proof of his wife's infidelity and, more importantly, his own hubris and broken promise to a god. He couldn't kill the creature, it was, after all, his stepson. So, he turned once again to the brilliant but morally flexible Daedalus. His orders were simple: build a prison from which escape is impossible. And so Daedalus designed his masterpiece, the labyrinth, a sprawling, intricate maze of winding passages and dead ends. Built beneath the Palace of Nasus, it was designed not just to contain the Minotaur, but to confuse and disorient anyone who dared to enter, ensuring they would never find their way out and would eventually fall prey to the beast within. But a monster needs to be fed. And this is where the story takes an even darker turn, intertwining with the fate of another great city, Athens. Years prior, Minos' son Andragios had been killed in Athens under mysterious circumstances. Enraged, Minos waged a successful war against the Athenians. As a term of their surrender, Athens was forced to pay a horrifying tribute. Every 9 years, they had to send 7 of their finest young men and 7 of their bravest young women to Crete. These 14 youths were not sent as slaves or hostages, they were sent as sacrifices, thrown into the labyrinth to be devoured by the Minotaur. This grim ritual served a dual purpose for Minos. It appeased the monster in the maze and served as a brutal, constant reminder of Cretan dominance over Athens. Imagine the terror in Athens every 9 years, as families were forced to give up their children to a fate worse than death. This unbearable tribute continued for 2 cycles. But on the third, a hero emerged. Theseus, the son of the Athenian king Aegeus, was young, brave, and determined to end this cycle of death. He volunteered himself as one of the 7 young men, vowing to his father that he would slay the Minotaur and return victorious. He promised that if he succeeded, he would change the black sails of his ship to white, so his father could see his triumph from afar. Upon arriving in Crete, the Athenian tributes were paraded before the royal court. It was here that Theseus caught the eye of Princess Ariadne, the daughter of King Minos and half-sister to the Minotaur. She was instantly captivated by the handsome hero and, desperate to save him from her monstrous brother, she decided to betray her own father and kingdom. Ariadne knew that even if Theseus managed to kill the Minotaur, he would never escape the labyrinth. So she sought the only man who could help, Daedalus, the architect of the maze himself. Daedalus, perhaps feeling a pang of guilt for his role in this whole tragedy, gave Ariadne the solution. It was deceptively simple: a ball of thread and a sword. He instructed her to tell Theseus to tie one end of the thread to the entrance of the labyrinth and unravel it as he walked. This way, he could follow the thread back to the entrance after his task was complete. That night, Ariadne met Theseus in secret. She gave him the sword and the ball of thread. and in return he promised to take her back to Athens and make her his wife. With Ariadne's thread in hand, Theseus boldly entered the dark, twisting passages of the labyrinth. He navigated the disorienting corridors, the sound of his own heartbeat echoing with the distant, terrifying bellows of the beast. Finally, he reached the center of the maze and came face to face with the Minotaur. The battle that followed was epic. Man versus monster, hero versus beast. Using the sword Ariadne had given him, Theseus fought with all his strength and courage, and after a brutal struggle, he finally slew the creature. The curse of Crete was broken, following the thread back through the darkness. Theseus emerged from the labyrinth, victorious. He quickly gathered the other Athenian youths and, with Ariadne by his side, they fled to their ship and set sail for Athens under the cover of night. But this is where the hero's tale gets complicated. During their journey home, they stopped on the island of Naxos. And here, for reasons debated by scholars for centuries, Theseus abandoned Ariadne while she slept. Some say the god Dionysus appeared to him and claimed Ariadne for himself. Others suggest a more human, less noble reason, that Theseus simply used her and cast her aside once she was no longer needed. Whatever the cause, he broke his promise and sailed away, leaving the princess who saved him stranded and heartbroken. But tragedy was not done with Theseus. In his haste and perhaps his guilt, he forgot the most important promise of all, the one he made to his father. He forgot to change the black sails of his ship to white. Back in Athens, King Aegeus stood on the cliffs day after day, scanning the horizon for his son's ship. When he finally saw it, the sails were black. Believing his son was dead, consumed by grief, the king threw himself from the cliffs into the sea below. That sea, to this day, bears his name, the Aegean Sea. Theseus returned home a hero, the savior of Athens, but at the cost of his love and his father. He became king, but his reign began under a shadow of immense personal loss, a direct result of his own forgetfulness. So, what does this myth truly tell us? On the surface, it's a classic hero's journey. But beneath that, it's a profound exploration of human nature. Was the Minotaur the real monster, or was it King Minos whose pride and greed created the situation? Was it Daedalus whose genius was untempered by morality? Or was it even Theseus, the hero who abandoned the woman who saved him and inadvertently caused his own father's death? The labyrinth itself becomes a metaphor not just for a physical maze, but for the complex, twisting paths of morality, consequence, and the dark corners of the human heart. It teaches us that monsters are often created, not born, and that the line between hero and villain can be as thin as a single thread. The myth of the Minotaur endures not just because it's a great monster story, but because it holds up a mirror to our own complexities and the difficult choices we all face. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the heart of the labyrinth. What do you think? Who was the true monster in this story? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into mythology, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure into the past. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.